How do you become unstoppable and have a successful career, relationship, and the life of your dreams? You do it with your mind. You lock in the right mindset, but you don't have that success right now. Your life could be a lot better. You're not where you want to be. So, what does it take to get the unstoppable mindset? How do you get to the place you deserve to be? In this video, we're going to give you 20 techniques you can use to launch yourself into this frame of mind. Your mind is going to get you there. And here's a step-by-step process you can follow to improve it, one step at a time. Our first technique is called immersion in the moment. Look at your mind right now. Is it scattered everywhere but here? The point is that this moment is your entire life, not yesterday's failures or tomorrow's anxieties, but this exact slice of existence you're experiencing. Our goal here is to concentrate on the now so we can stop operating at half capacity. Marcus Aurelius was getting at this when he said, even simple acts contain the whole of nature. There is so much richness you can pick up on if you look at the whole. This second, try this. Pick up your coffee cup. Feel its actual weight. Notice its temperature against your skin. It may seem simple, but it's really a tactical mental training. When you can fully immerse in something as mundane as holding a cup, you're building the neural pathways to immerse yourself in anything. If you study the people crushing it in every field, you'll see. They don't half-ass their attention. They don't waste hours checking their phone or doing nothing. They are completely, ruthlessly present. We live in the present. The past is dead. The future doesn't exist. Your power is right here, right now. So exercise it. Our second technique is called the spheres of control. It's about looking at what you can control and then acting on that. Start by imagining 3 circles. The inner circle, that's what you completely control. Your thoughts, your effort, your reactions. The middle circle, what you influence but don't control. Other people's responses, project outcomes, relationship dynamics. The outer circle, everything else. Market crashes, weather, other people's predetermined decisions. Successful people dominate their inner circle, strategically invest in their influence circle, and completely ignore the outer circle. They try not to waste mental energy on what they can't change. This is a strategy you can start using today. Every time life punches you, immediately map it and ask, which circle does this belong to? After you map the problem, refocus and feel the immediate power shift. This is how you become unstoppable, by refusing to be stopped by what you can't control. Use this technique to stay on task. Our third technique is called first principles analysis. This is about no longer accepting prepackaged thinking. It's killing your potential. We live in a complex world. When you're drowning in complexity, most people grab onto conventional wisdom like a life raft. But the unstoppable mind does the opposite. It strips everything down to fundamental truths that cannot be broken down further. Socrates didn't accept inherited assumptions, and neither should you. When facing a problem, ruthlessly ask, what do I know for certain is true? Then build up from there, discarding the mental baggage that everyone else carries, but you can move faster without. This approach feels uncomfortable at first because you're temporarily removing all your mental shortcuts. That's a good thing. In that naked space of first principles, solutions emerge that others can't see. Don't waste time navigating someone else's labyrinth of thought. Break the walls down. Start with what's undeniably true, then build your own path. Our fourth technique is called the fate clause. This one is about rigid expectations which can cause unnecessary suffering. Let's fix that now. When you declare, I will complete this project by Friday, you've just created a mental trap, because when life inevitably throws a curveball, as it always does, you'll feel like a failure for something that's really beyond your control. The Stoics had a better approach. They added fate permitting to every intention. They weren't trying to hedge. They were using strategic realism to stay committed and sane. I will give everything to this presentation tomorrow, fate permitting. This mental shift allows you to maintain absolute commitment to your actions while releasing attachment to specific outcomes. You're acknowledging reality's complexity without using it as an excuse. The most resilient minds throughout history did the same. They worked relentlessly toward their goals while maintaining internal peace about what they couldn't control. Now you can start doing it too. Our fifth technique is called the premeditation of adversity. Most people avoid imagining failure. That's exactly why they crumble when it happens. The unstoppable mind does the opposite. Before any important event, deliberately Deliberately imagine what could go wrong. Your presentation slides failing, your flight getting cancelled, your key team member quitting mid-project. As Seneca put it, the person who has anticipated troubles steals their power when they arrive. When disaster strikes, everyone else stands shocked, frozen, emotional. But you've already walked through this scenario mentally. While they're still processing, you're already executing your contingency plan. The weak hope nothing goes wrong. The strong know something will go wrong and prepare accordingly. This is how you become unshakable at those times when people all around you fall apart. Our sixth technique is called the ideal sage. Most people pick flawed role models who eventually disappoint them. The unstoppable mind creates something that won't. The Stoics envisioned the sage, not a real person, but the ideal embodiment of wisdom and virtue, your personal North Star of potential. Try to imagine an ideal advisor, your personal sage, deliberately. What decisions would they make in your situation? How would they respond to your challenges? What virtues would they embody? The wisdom of this approach is that it propels you beyond existing examples. You're no longer constrained by what others have achieved. You're guided by what's theoretically possible for a human being at their best. In fact, you're on your way to becoming that person right now, and this construct can help to get you there. Our seventh technique is called the alternative narrative. If you're like most people, your brain loves to jump to the worst possible interpretation of events. That promotion you didn't get? Your mind immediately screams that you're doomed at this company. But narratives like that can crush your potential. This is how you can redirect it. When something painful happens, force yourself to write down 3 completely different interpretations. Maybe you didn't get promoted because the company is grooming you for something better. Or perhaps they know you'd hate the position's administrative burden. Or the decision maker might need more time to get to know you. This practice shatters the illusion that your knee-jerk reaction is objective reality. It's just one possibility among others, and just because it's harsh doesn't mean it's right. The unstoppable mind maintains this cognitive flexibility in every situation. They don't get trapped in singular narratives that paralyze them. They see the full spectrum of possible realities and choose the one that serves their growth. Our eighth technique is called using your character. Most people get trapped in endless pros and cons lists. They weigh outcomes, analyze options, and still end up paralyzed by indecision. Why? Because they're asking the wrong question. The unstoppable mind asks something more powerful. What kind of person do I want to become through the choices I make? Marcus Aurelius used this mental model constantly. When facing complex choices, he didn't get lost in potential outcomes. He focused on what he was manifesting through his actions. Try this. Next time you're stuck on a difficult decision, put down that pros and cons list. Ask yourself what choice aligns with the character you're building. This cuts through the noise, because identity-based decisions are simpler and more powerful than outcome-based ones. What you do shapes who you become, and who you become determines everything else in your life. Our ninth technique is called the fruit of good choices. Most people get stuck in the daily grind, seeing their efforts as isolated struggles with no connection to their future. They work out today, but don't visualize the strong body they're building. They study hard, but don't imagine the expertise they're developing. The unstoppable mind does something different. It regularly pauses to consciously connect present actions to future rewards. Do this. Take 3 minutes right now to vividly imagine how your current efforts, that challenging project, those early morning workouts, those difficult conversations you're initiating, are creating the exact future you desire. When motivation falters, this mental technique reinvigorates your commitment. It transforms discipline from a daily burden into a strategic investment with compound interest. As Epictetus said, the path to greatness requires momentary sacrifices for lasting rewards. You are on the path to wisdom when you exchange temporary discomfort for long-term transformation. Our 10th technique is called cosmic insignificance therapy. Most people get consumed by daily struggles, a critical email, a tense meeting, a social media slight. They let these moments define their entire emotional landscape. The unstoppable mind zooms out to gain perspective. For example, one way to do that is to contemplate the vastness of time and space, billions of years, trillions of stars, to see human troubles in a different proportion. If you like science, then when something bothers bothers you, imagine viewing Earth from orbit, then from the Moon, then from Mars, then from outside our galaxy. Watch your problem shrink with each step back. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, how small a part of the boundless and unfathomable time is assigned to every man. Some problems truly matter in our lives, but many don't. When you grasp how insignificant most problems are, you gain tremendous power, the freedom to choose your response with clarity and purpose. Use the cosmic view to focus your energy on what truly matters. Our 11th technique is called daily voluntary hardship. Most people spend their lives running from discomfort, but what they don't realize is that this actually makes them incredibly fragile. The unstoppable mind does something counterintuitive. It deliberately seeks out controlled hardship. Seneca practiced this by periodically living with minimal possessions, eating the simplest meals, and sleeping on the floor. Why? Because when you voluntarily experience what you fear, those fears lose their power. You could follow his example like this. Once a week, choose a specific hardship. Skip breakfast. Sleep without a pillow. Wear your least comfortable clothes. Each time, observe how quickly your initial resistance fades. What you're doing is training your nervous system to stay calm during adversity. When others panic at the first sign of hardship, you'll remain clear-headed and focused. Our 12th technique is called tranquility rehearsal. Most people wait until they're in the middle of a crisis to try managing their emotions. That's like waiting until you're drowning to learn how to swim. The unstoppable mind practices emotional steadiness before it's needed. This technique is simple, yet profound. During calm moments, select a specific upcoming challenge, a difficult conversation, a high-pressure presentation, or a complex decision. Then, deliberately rehearse maintaining your inner tranquility during that exact scenario. The key distinction: you're not visualizing success or failure. You're singularly focused on preserving your emotional equilibrium regardless of external circumstances. When emotions hijack everyone else's thinking, your clarity becomes your superpower. True strength isn't about never feeling disturbed. It's about returning to center instantly. Our 13th technique is called the inverted perspective. When someone frustrates you, most people immediately fortify their position and view the other person as wrong or malicious. This creates unnecessary conflict that drains your energy and effectiveness. The unstoppable mind does something radical. It deliberately adopts the opposing perspective with maximum charity. As Epictetus taught, our distress comes not from others' actions, but from our judgments about them. So, the next time you feel friction with someone, pause and ask, if I assumed this person was reasonable, intelligent, and well-intentioned, how might they see this situation? Force yourself to construct a generous interpretation of their position. Sometimes, Stoic wisdom means doing the uncomfortable thing. When you master this technique, you'll waste less energy on unnecessary conflicts and maintain your mental clarity better. Our 14th technique is called practicing death of reputation. Most people live in what Seneca called the prison of other people's opinions. They make decisions based on approval, recognition, and social standing rather than true principles. This leaves them vulnerable to manipulation and prevents authentic action. The unstoppable mind deliberately practices imagining complete reputation collapse. What would you do if everyone misunderstood you? If your social standing vanished overnight? If your name became synonymous with failure? Spend 5 minutes visualizing continuing to live virtuously despite total reputation destruction. Notice which actions would remain unchanged and which were merely performed for approval. This practice reveals how much of your life is authentically yours versus how much is controlled by others' perceptions. When you realize you could continue living with virtue and purpose even without external validation, you gain true inner freedom. Our 15th technique is called the concentric circles of concern. Most people either focus exclusively on themselves or scatter their energy trying to solve every global problem. Both approaches lead to ineffectiveness. The unstoppable mind uses a more strategic framework. For your relationships, imagine these circles: self at the center, then family, community, country, and humanity. Each requires different types of attention and responsibility. Think about how you're doing in each category. How are you nurturing your health and wisdom, supporting your family, contributing to your community, fulfilling your responsibilities, and even advancing humankind? This technique provides structure to your moral responsibilities. As Marcus Aurelius observed, we are social beings with duties to the whole. The person who excels understands their precise role in each circle and balances their attention accordingly. By mapping your responsibilities, you create focused impact where others create either selfishness or chaos. Our 16th technique is called the fading pleasure inventory. Most people are trapped in an endless cycle. They desperately want something they have to buy, obtain it, feel satisfied for a moment, and then return to their baseline happiness as they fixate on the next desire. This hedonic treadmill exhausts them with diminishing returns. The unstoppable mind breaks this pattern by studying it directly. Take 5 minutes now to list material pleasures you once intensely craved, but now barely notice. The smartphone you once excitedly unboxed, the car you once proudly drove, the clothes you once couldn't wait to wear. Be ruthlessly honest about how quickly these objects faded from thrilling to ordinary to invisible. If you're being honest, it probably won't be a short list. When you clearly see this pattern, you make wiser choices about where to invest your energy and expectations. As Epictetus noted, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This technique helps you do that while appreciating what you already have. Our 17th technique is called the virtuous interpretation. When someone wrongs you, most people immediately assign malice or incompetence to the other person. Their mind constructs a narrative where they're the innocent victim and the other person is the villain. This reactive thinking creates unnecessary suffering. The unstoppable mind practices finding the most generous possible interpretation of others' actions. As Epictetus taught, people act as seems right to them based on their understanding, regardless of how flawed that understanding might be. Try this. Next time someone disappoints or frustrates you, pause and ask, what virtuous reason might explain this behavior? Perhaps they're protecting something valuable, acting from incomplete information, or responding to pressure you can't see. This isn't naive optimism. It's strategic empathy that prevents you from compromising your own values through reactive behavior. When you respond to others' poor choices with virtue rather than vengeance, you maintain your power and clarity. The strongest mind holds steady when others spiral into reactive patterns. Our 18th technique is called the morning self-command. Most people begin their day reactively, checking notifications, responding to others' priorities, and immediately surrendering their mental sovereignty. By midday, they're completely adrift. The unstoppable mind starts differently. Before anything else, it issues a specific rule targeting our biggest psychological vulnerability. Think of a command addressing your particular weakness. Today, I will not seek validation through social media. Today, I will speak my truth without apology. Today, I will not procrastinate. To make it stick, write it down, speak it aloud, make it non-negotiable. What makes this powerful is its specificity. You're not trying to improve everything at once. You're targeting the exact psychological pattern that undermines your potential the most. Try it. When you commit each morning, you set the tone for everything that follows. Our 19th technique is called the evening review. Most people end their day either cataloging failures or vaguely acknowledging successes. Both approaches miss a critical opportunity for psychological reinforcement. The unstoppable mind uses a better strategy. Before sleep, it identifies one challenging event from the day and meticulously imagines how much worse it could have gone without wisdom or virtuous action. This practice builds genuine appreciation for your own virtuous choices. As a Stoic, that's something you want to support to improve your life. Our 20th and final technique is called the virtuous circle. Most people try changing too many habits simultaneously, spreading their willpower too thin and ultimately changing nothing. Others focus on habits with minimal cascading effects, working hard for isolated improvements. The unstoppable mind takes a different approach. It identifies one small, sustainable action that, if performed consistently, creates cascading positive effects. This creates compound growth in character development. Each keystone habit makes the next one easier to implement, building an unstoppable momentum. As Aristotle observed, excellence is not an act, but a habit. Through this technique, you're creating virtuous circles where each positive action reinforces and amplifies every other. This is how you become unstoppable, one strategically smart action at a time. The journey to becoming unstoppable isn't about grand, dramatic transformations. It's about precise mental techniques practiced consistently until they become your default operating system. We've explored 20 powerful strategies drawn from ancient wisdom and modern psychology. Each one addresses a specific aspect of mental sovereignty, from breaking free of reputation seeking to commanding your attention, from strategic discomfort to emotional resilience. The most important thing to understand is that these techniques compound. You need to keep doing them to see results. Many people believe that success comes from external circumstances, having the right connections, catching lucky breaks, or possessing natural talent. But history shows us something different. The most accomplished individuals across every field share one common trait: an unstoppable mindset that refuses to yield. Your potential has always been there, waiting. These techniques are the keys to unlocking it. Start with just one. Practice it until it becomes second nature. Then add another. Within months, you'll barely recognize the person you used to be. This is the essence of the unstoppable mindset. Not that nothing ever knocks you down, but that nothing keeps you down. In upcoming videos, we'll explore how additional ancient Stoic wisdom complements the lessons you've just learned. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications to join our community of Stoic believers. Your engagement helps others discover these tools in their moments of need. Each comment sharing your experiences helps us improve our understanding of what works. Until next time, remember Marcus Aurelius's powerful words. Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will simply look. The unstoppable mind is built one technique at a time. It's up to you to use it to become the person you were meant to be. The only question is, will you begin today?